Hello and welcome to this video about parent pages in Adobe InDesign. So in this video we're going to learn how to create and use parent pages. Now parent pages were called master pages in older versions of InDesign. They're used to create a consistent layout across a multi-page document and can save you a great deal of repetitive work. Now, many documents contain elements that appear on several or even all pages, okay? And they might be things like page numbers, headers and footers, logos, repeating graphics or design features, guides and layout grids perhaps, or even empty text or image frames that we might want to populate with content further down the line in our actual document. Now, instead of adding these items separately to every page, we can place them on something called a parent page, and then you can apply that parent page to as many document pages as required. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is set up our document. So I'm just going to create a new file. Now I've already put some details in here. You can see this is going to be an A4 page. I've put 8 pages in my document, and you can see I'm using something called facing pages. So that means we'll have both left and right hand pages, and each page is going to have 6 columns, and there'll be a 4mm column gutter between each column. I've also added some margins. Okay, so my margin guides are set up. The top is 17mm. The bottom is 15mm, and you can see here it says inside and outside. Now if yours says left and right, it's because you have got facing pages unchecked. So if I take that off, you can see inside and outside becomes left and right. Okay, so I've pop that back on. You can see my inside is slightly smaller than my outside. If all yours are the same, you need to uncheck this. Okay, this will make all your settings the same. I'm not going to change the bleed and slug. Bleed is when we're designing for print, and we just need to allow a little bit of what we call bleed in order to ensure that images go right to the very edge of the page after trimming. And slug is something that we have when we want to write little instructions to our printer. I'm not talking about desktop printers, that kind of thing. I'm talking about a physical person. Okay, so you might want to write a little note, and we put that in something called the slug. So I'm just going to click create. Now I can preview this. You can see I've got a little tick here, and if I just move this out the way, you can see that is how my document is going to look. So I just click create, like so. And now you can see my document is made, and you will need to change your workspace whilst you're going through this little tutorial with me by going to the window menu, choosing workspace and changing your workspace to advanced. Now if you do that, you will see all the same panels, all the same tools as me. Okay, so change your workspace to advanced now. Now the first panel that we're going to look at is this one here. It's right at the top. It's called Pages, and when I open this up, you can see that we have indeed got the 8 pages that I asked for when we were setting the document up, and here they all are. So you can see page 1 is a right-hand page, and then we've got a spread. Pages 2 and 3 are a spread. Pages 4 and 5, pages 6 and 7, and on its own, page 8, which would be the back page, which is a left-hand page. So if I double click on pages 4 and 5, it will take me there, and I can check what my page number is by having a little look down here. You can see this says 4 in here, and you can see this is highlighted here. So those two things should always match. So if I double click on page 2, you can see this is now changed to 2. Okay, and if I double click on 8, you can see it's on its own, and it says 8 here. Now parent pages are different, okay, and they live up here, and you'll notice I've got a parent set up already, and you're thinking, well, when did that happen? Well, it happened when we were setting our document up. All the stuff that we put in there has gone in, so the number of columns that I set the page up at, the gutter width, the 4 mil gutter, the 6 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of those things have been applied to this parent. And you'll notice in the corner of each of these pages on the thumbnail, it says A. Now that A is referring to this particular parent, okay? So we can have lots of other parents. So I want you to think of a parent page as a template for other pages. So if you edit an object on a parent page, the changes automatically apply to all document pages using that parent. For example, if you were to move a logo on the parent page, the logo will move on every page to which that parent has been applied. Okay, so let's see how that works. So first of all, we have to get to our parent page, and that's really simple. We just double click on the thumbnail. You can now see the A parent as highlighted, and we can see these pages here. They look exactly the same as these pages, but down here, instead of a number, you can see it says A parent. Okay, so anything that I put on this page now is going to appear on our document pages. So I'm going to do something that's very obvious. While I've got this open, I'm going to put a frame in here, and I'm just going to colour it in. So I'm going to make that cyan, just so as you can see how that looks. So you can see it's appeared on every single left-hand page. Okay, so it hasn't appeared on pages 1, 3, 5 and 7. But if I were to change the shape, I'm putting an ellipse over here and colour this in magenta, you can see on all my pages those shapes have been applied. Okay, so if I were to delete that now, whoops, just change my tool, and you can see it instantly goes away, and the same there. Okay, so if I move something, so let's make that nice and obvious again. If I move this shape, you can see we only have half because it's going over half a page. You can see I've just got half here and I've got half at the end there. So whatever I do on these parent pages, it's repeated on every single page that carries that particular parent page as a template. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some things on this this parent page. So I'm going to start off by putting like a little logo, maybe a little folio detail up in the margins. So I'm going to go to File and choose Place, and I'm going to use this little logo here. It says Cottonopolis, so I'm going to place this. Now this is a logo that I made myself, and of course Cottonopolis, just in case you don't know, was the old nickname for Manchester, which seems appropriate because that's where you all study, or most of you do who are watching this video. There might be some people who are watching from further afield. So there's my little logo there. Now let's just see, because it's quite small, we can't see it very clearly. I can just about detect it, but if I go to page 5, so if I double click on here and just check, there it is, page 5, and there is my logo. Now I'm going to go back to my parent page and I'm going to put in a guide, so you can see that guides also come in. So if I put that guide there, like that, and I'm going to put another one on the other side that lines up. Oops, just missed slightly. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this logo, because at the moment it's only on my right hand page and I want it to be over here on the left as well. So I'm just going to go to edit and copy, and edit and paste. Now I'm using my menus because it's much clearer while you're watching these videos if you can see exactly what I'm doing rather than me using keyboard shortcuts. So I'm just going to pop this in there like that. And there we have it. So you can see if I go to pages 2 and 3 now, you can see there is my little logo sat at the top of my page. Now we can add other things in here. So I'm going to add some page numbering. Now you're probably wondering, how does this work? Because if you put a number on the page, then if I put number 1, say down here for my page number, every single page would carry that particular number. But we've got some special features. So I'm just going to zoom in down here. And I'm going to create a text frame. Now, before I do that, I'm going to drag in a guide from my ruler there. Okay, if you can't see your rulers, Control or Command R will display your rulers like this. Or you can go to Hide Ruler on the View menu and Show Ruler. And if you forget what the keyboard shortcuts are, you can find them here. Okay, so I'm working on a Mac, so this is Command R, but on a PC it'd be Control R. Okay, so I've put a little guide in there. I'm also going to put another guide. So I've dragged this off my horizontal ruler up here. So I'm going to put in a little text box just here, which is going to contain my page number. Okay, so you can see the flashing insertion point there. Now I'm not going to type 1, obviously, because we don't want every page to be page 1. But if I go to the type menu and go down to Insert Special Character, if we go to markers, we can choose current page number, like so. Now, because this is a parent page, you can see that it's put the appropriate letter for that parent page in that frame. So this is a parent. So we have the letter A in here. Now I'm going to style it as I want my page numbers to appear. So I'm going to change the typeface. So I'm going to use something called Acumen. And I'm going to use Acumen Pro Condensed. And I think I'm going to go for medium weight. And I'm going to make my page number about 11 points in size. Okay, so that's the style that I want it to appear in. Okay, and I want my page number also to appear on the outside edge of my right-hand page. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in again and put in a new guide so I know exactly where it's going. And I'm going to pop one here as well. So I know my frame is going to go there. Now the easiest thing to do is to copy this. So again, I'm going to use my menus. So edit and copy. And then I'm going to shoot over here and go to edit and paste. And then I can pop this there. Now you're thinking, well, that's not going to line up properly because I need it to line up on this edge here. So what I'm going to do, rather than move the box like this, which is messy, I leave this where it is, and instead I'm going to change how the text sits in this frame. So I've just switched to the type tool, and instead of this being aligned to the left, I'm going to choose Align Right. Okay, so now I've got my, my little masthead or my little folio logos and my page numbers down here. Okay, so let's see how this looks on my pages. So on page 1, there's my, my logo, and you can see that this says 1 here. And if I go to page 3, page 5, page 7, and if I go to page 8, you can see it's over here, page 4, and so on. So that, in a nutshell, is how we create and use parent pages.